This may be some of the best advice I have ever gotten, accepted, and used. So in our jobs a lot, we do a story. It's a big story, but it's done for the day. It's done for, it happened, we're on to something else. But even if your station tends to not do a lot of follows, I would still suggest you to really look at your story. And I'm saying this out of my own experience, that just taking one more look, or maybe a 10-minute brainstorming session, what else can I find out about this story? What questions should I be asking? But don't only ask yourself those questions. I just got done talking to a former SWAT officer after I covered a crazy police pursuit, which actually involved a man stealing 2 police cruisers from Cocoa Police, and led them on this crazy wild chase. It was just big news here in Florida. And we got the video. We did everything we could. What else is there to do? And we were kind of scrambling for story ideas for the next day. What else? I just didn't have any idea. And then at like 6 o'clock, we're like, well, why don't we just capitalize on this great body cam video we already have and further this story? It sounds like a dumb moment, right? But in this story, where it all really involves one criminal, who is essentially, having a mental breakdown in this situation, we decided to interview a former SWAT officer to analyze the video, basically mic him up, have him take us through the video and basically narrate it and just tell us what he thinks about the video, what surprises him, what's happening. Because to, an average Joe or Jane like me, I just see it and I'm just like, whoa, I don't know what's happening. It's crazy. But he can actually tell us step by step, okay, they're doing this. This is what we're thinking here. This is what I could have done. So my message to all of you really is to find former people. And what I mean by formers, sometimes they can be the best assets when it comes to story ideas or interviews, because they know how organizations work. They can freely tell you about situations just like this one. A sheriff or a police officer who is currently working for the station is not going to throw someone else under the bus. But someone who's not working anymore in those situations can honestly criticize and critique a situation like this and give you honest feedback. And so that's what we did here. In other situations, you can, look up former people when it comes to public works, former teachers, former law enforcement, former military, just anyone who used to do a government agency job, a public job. Really any high profile job like that can give you great insight. And they also may know people who are still in the job or in that agency and can tip you off on things that are happening or that you can look into. So that is another tip, how to find enterprise story ideas. And it just little things like that can really help you stand out in your newsroom, become a great reporter. And it's an everyday effort, right? I'm still learning. I've been in news for 10 plus years and I'm still implementing new tools and tactics just like this one. And don't be afraid, like I just did in my interview with this SWAT officer, former SWAT officer. I said, as a journalist, what should I be asking? Because to be honest, I'm not a law enforcement officer, and that is okay to not know what to ask. But ask them, what should I be concerned about here? And he gave me a couple great questions that otherwise I may not have, thought about. So few tips there. If I could help you at all in your story research, you know, finding a pitch, just let me know. I'm Andrea Lyon at Rescue My Pitch on Facebook, and I'd love to help you out. Thanks.